told us that story, and we looked at each other. We knew this is the time is right. So we wrote this song about the sad and tragic end of a beautiful life. An old boy, an old banjo picker by the name of, his name was David Aiken, but everybody knew him as String Bean. On Ridgetop, Tennessee, in 1973, the Brown boys killed String Bean and Estelle. And the reason for it all was in the bib of his overalls. At least that's what the Brown boys would tell. Yeah, the thieves lay in wait for hours, but things didn't go their way. It was just a simple plan to rob a banjo man, but he would not let go of his Opry pay. Now there must have been one hell of a struggle for the cash in his bill overalls. The Brown boys said, "Don't give us no trouble, String." They said, "We came for some, but now we want it all." The thieves said, "Stand and deliver," but old String Bean would not tell. And later we would learn that was the point of no return. They shot him dead, and then they shot Estelle. Well, it just so happened that right across the road from String Bean there lived another old banjo picker, another Grand Ole Opry star. And they were the best of friends. This old boy's name was Grandpa Jones. And every morning they would get up and they'd walk out their front doors and they would meet in the middle, and they'd walk about a half a mile down the road, and they'd start off every day fishing. Best of friends. Started every day fishing. But when he didn't see no smoke from the chimney, Grandpa knew that something was not right. And now it's burned evermore in his memory, the picture of that dreadful, awful sight. And then 23 years later, they tore the old fireplace down, and there was $20,000 that the Brown boys never found. It seemed like easy money, but things didn't go their way. It was just a simple plan to rob a banjo man, but he would not let go of his Opry pay. No, he would not let go of his Opry pay. Well, those Brown boys, that was their name. Doug and John Brown. They were cousins, and They were just bad boys is what they were. They snuck into... See, the word had gotten out that String Bean didn't believe in banks and that he kept all of his cash stashed there in his little cabin. So these two guys broke into his cabin that night, knowing that String Bean was about 10 miles down the road performing on the Grand Ole Opry. And they were local boys. They knew that String Bean would play his set on the Opry, and then they knew his lovely wife, Estelle, would load him up in the car and drive him home. Well, they ransacked his cabin. They couldn't find any money. So they just sat down and waited. They turned on String Bean's radio and listened to him and waited. And they knew the minute he got off stage that he'd be coming up the driveway in no time. But they caught these two boys. They gave them each 2 life sentences. Doug spent about 10 years in jail and died. John came up for parole, I think, 6 different times over the last 30 years, and he was denied every time. The stars of the Opry would get together on parole day, and they'd go out to the prison, and they would say, "You can't let this guy out." Even though he's changed his life, he says he's got religion now. He says he could be a positive thing in the community. You can't let him out. He killed String Bean. And he shot Estelle in the back of the head when she was running down the driveway. Last Monday, John Brown was paroled from prison and walked out of there. I wish him well. I hope he has got religion, and I hope he has changed his life. But I think he's still got some paying to do. And I ask you, is anything sacred? I do believe now I have heard it all. I read it in this morning's paper, where they auctioned off old strings, overalls.